Nyyst.
Holla, why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets, cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops here. I'm taking off like a rocketeer, ain't stopping here. It's strange how they cannot see the future, but see profit here. Wait up, we gon' always win. Promise that that's not a promise, yeah, that is a threat. You know that I promise to bring the team commas.
Welcome back. This is episode 444. Play that in the pick three, okay, of the NYYST podcast. We are live here on NYY Underground. I'm your host, Christian, and I'm with my co-host, Sem.
What's up?
Are you back from the land of the undead?
I think I'm still there.
Oh, boy. This is like 3 weeks for you now.
2.
Yeah, but you like to round up, so we'll give you 3.
All
Maybe
right.
3 weeks.
Sounds fair.
Because the chat thought they had gotten rid of you last week. They were like, they thought they bullied you off the show already. But you're back.
Back. I'm back.
So we're here live tonight on this Thursday night, January 16th. I can't believe that it's less than a month until the Yankees hit Tampa. I believe it's February 12th they're reporting this year for pitchers and catchers.
Something like that. I don't know the exact date.
I mean, it feels like the World Series just ended in a lot of ways, and now we are down to less than basically 4 weeks till the beginning of the 2025 season, and it does feel that the Yankees have a lot of work still to do. I think a lot of the heavy lifting is done, but they do still have a few things that need to accomplish. We'll go over that on the show tonight. And also, if you're here live on NYY Underground, please like this video, subscribe to NYY Underground. And we want to hear from you tonight. This is your show. Pete has the voicemail line pinned to the top of the chat. So leave us a voicemail, and later on in the show, we'll get to it. It doesn't have to be about the Yankees. You just want to say hi, or you want to know how long it takes them to grow a beard, or anything in particular. Drop it on the voicemail line, and we will get to it later on in the show. So I want to start the show off by saying rest in peace to the legend Bob Uecker, who did pass away earlier today. What a life, man. 90 years old, obviously the voice of the Milwaukee Brewers. I mean, more, since we're not Brewers fans, we mostly remember him as Harry Doyle from the Major League movies, and as a wrestling fan, I will never forget him getting choked out by Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 4. That was a pretty awesome moment there in like pop culture. But the baseball world lost a legend today. Rest in peace, Mr. Baseball, to the Uke. Hopefully he'll be catching some games up in heaven there. Are you laying out? You want to do a moment of silence, or you just have nothing to say here?
No, I got nothing to say.
Do you not know who Bob Uecker is?
No, I know who Bob Uecker is, but like I didn't watch WrestleMania 4. You're old as hell. And I didn't watch the Major League.
Jesus. You know what? You might have to be kicked off the show now. You never saw Major League?
Nah, I mean I probably watched it, but like again,
Oh, you're like, I know, you're like Chris. Every baseball movie I ever brought up here, it's not real, it sucks.
I've never watched The Sandlot in completion.
Yeah, well, let me
I
guess.
hate that movie.
Wow, it's like, if Chris could grow a beard, it's like I have the same co-host. Like, all it took is a little testosterone to grow some facial hair, and you guys are the same person here.
There you go.
But yeah, Bob Uecker, a big loss for the baseball community today. 90 years old, man. The way I look at it is, if you make it to 90, you should have no regrets in life. That's a hell of a life, and what a life to live. Voice of the Brewers, Mr. Baseball, getting choked out by Andre the Giant. Rest in peace to the Uke. So before we we actually talk some Yankees. We got to talk some Mets here because the Mets are the most intriguing thing happening in Major League Baseball. But before we do that, let's finish the bookkeeping here. And if you are listening to the show Friday morning on your favorite podcast platform, please leave us a 5-star rating and review on that platform. And tell everybody NYYST is the official Yankee podcast of Odyssey. Uh, it seems like the Mets and Pete Alonso are they might be heading for a divorce here, as a lot of reporting came out today that, quote, the Mets are pivoting away from Pete as the two sides still remain at a stalemate on what a possible contract could look like. It's pretty wild that the Mets and Pete Alonso cannot come to some sort of agreement. Now, I know that Pete is a deeply flawed player in the sense that he's basically a big dumb slugger, if in layman's terms. That's what he does. He hits home runs. He's not a big average hitter. He's not a guy that, a big on base percentage guy. He's not, I wouldn't say he's a butcher defensively, but he's not a great defensive player. But he just fit the Mets, right? He just fit what the Mets were. And it just seems like maybe it's not coming back. And it just would seem that after the Mets made the big splash this winter, that was the next thing they were going to do. And they just seem to be miles apart on money here.
Yeah, I think that their money he conceded to their years, their terms, the opt outs and whatnot, and now they're just the whole money issue, which is kind of funny. You pay somebody over $70 million a year. I wonder how far apart they really are.
I don't know. That hasn't been divulged really, like what the gap is here. But what I would have liked to seen, and you know this because I've mentioned it on here, is that would uh would Paul Goldschmidt still be out there at this point, or did the Yankees know they had to go out there and get him at that moment that they did? Because this is where I would have loved to have seen the Yankees strike right now. Hey Pete,
Snatch Pete Alonso.
the what?
That's Snatch Pete Alonso.
Hey Pete, you know what? The Mets are playing games 3 for 90, 3 for 95. Sweeten it up a little bit, right? Whatever you got to do. You want to hit the free agent market at the end of the year? That's fine. Opt out. Boom. And the Yankees swoop right in. Because I'm telling you, man, again, I know Pete's a deeply flawed player, but would I take Pete Alonso for the next year, 2 years, possibly three? Yeah, I would, because I think that him and Judge back to back, I know it's two big right-handed sluggers. Pete is a guy that has opposite field power. We know that would play at Yankee Stadium, being a right-handed hitter. I don't think that it would be out of the realm of possibility that you could see Pete Alonso and Aaron Judge back to back in this lineup hitting 90 plus home runs together.
Plus, Pete would be playing with a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I mentioned that in a group chat, that the NYYU group chat, is that Pete would come in here with his hair on fire, pissed off, and want to shove it up the Mets' ass, and be like, hey, listen, you guys didn't want me. I'm here with the Yankees, and maybe he has his a career year here and hits the open market. And I wouldn't be opposed to that if Pete wanted to hit the open market again at the end of 2025. So it would have, obviously that's not going to happen. The Yankees went and signed Paul Goldschmidt, but you just look at it at the landscape here, and the Mets made the big sexy splash this offseason, right? We all know what they did. But I look at that team, and I don't see a team that can get out of the National League. And isn't that what it's all about? Getting to the World Series?
Yeah,
I don't see them as being a team that can get to the World Series as they're presently constructed. Anything that you say as a Yankee fan is going to look like hating, and it's not, because I'm looking at this objectively. I'm not rooting. Trust me, I'm not rooting against the Mets. I hardly ever do, unless they're playing the Yankees, right? But you look at this team as presently constructed. Francisco Lindor down the line. That's you got two, and Vientos with a full year. Maybe he's a 30 home run guy, but without Pete in that lineup, you're looking at a team that is lacking offensively. And honestly, their pitching is trash. That starting rotation is nothing to write home about.
They got Clay Holmes. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. You're relying on turning Clay Holmes into a starting pitcher. Sean Manaea is a nice ad, right? Kodai Senga, can he stay healthy? David Petersons of the world and whoever else they have over there. They don't have a true, legitimate top of the rotation guy, a guy that you can ride through 162 games into the postseason.
And a very questionable closer.
Yeah, and we all know what a skittish closer they have with how you call it
Edwin
with
Diaz.
Edwin Diaz. That's why you hear now that, this was being reported that the Mets are pivoting from Pete. They did re-sign Jesse Winker, and apparently they look at Jesse as Pete's replacement, and they want to go and take the money saved by Jesse Winker and not Pete, and not paying Pete, and go and sign Tanner Scott. Now that's a nice back end of the bullpen, Tanner Scott and Edwin Diaz. But again, I don't love their offense and I don't love their starting pitching. So, that's where you
They're
look
not
at
beating the Dodgers.
no, and a lot of people are making the case that they're not even better than the Phillies.
Eh?
I don't know. I got to see the Braves bounce back, especially after losing Max Fried and how they cover that hole. They do have still have Chris Sale and Spencer Strider. If Acuna's healthy with and Matt Olson has a bounce back year, and then you have what the hell's his name? Ozzy Albies. I like the Braves too. I don't know. They're probably, to me, they might be neck and neck with the Mets, but I don't know, man. The Mets made the big move, and now they got to figure out a way to build around it. And letting Pete go, to me, is a mistake. And again, it was reported today that their pipe dream, their big hope, is they are able to acquire Vlad Guerrero Jr. in a trade. Apparently, Toronto's trying to push to re-sign him. I don't know, man. I'm just looking as an outside observer and saying, yeah, you got the big fish in the free agent pond here, but what else? What did you really do to get over the hump and being a team that can even win your own division right now?
It's like they went out, they did the big thing, then stalled. It's almost as if they just wanted to shut up their fan base, be like, "Here, look what we did," and now it's like we're just gonna try to like fill these holes with mediocre. I don't know. It didn't. It's not what I expected. I thought Steve Cohen was gonna go in and spend stupid money and just be stupid with it,
Yeah, and
and I
then
think a lot of people thought that.
on SNY's version of Hot Stove, I think they call it Baseball Tonight or whatever the hell it is. That what's his face? Andy Martino was on there, and he reported that the Mets are not looking to go over 301, and if they do, they don't. I think the words he used was by not much. They don't want to pay the hefty tax. And, you all give Hal Steinbrenner a lot of shit about not wanting to go over that tax. And, you know,
No, that was the big thing when Cohen bought the team. They were all like, "Oh," because what was the Wilpons owned it, the coupons, whatever they called
yeah,
them.
they called them the coupons.
Coupons, yeah, So then you come out, you got the richest owner in all of baseball, and now here he is. He's setting, supposedly setting price limits on where he wants to go. That's not what they want to hear. It's not what I
No,
would want to hear. It's not what I want to hear because I was actually excited to see it too because I thought he was going to be stupid. I mean, you like baseball, you want to see teams go crazy.
you would think in this year, right, when they made the big splash that they did and they paid all that money, that they would then commit big time when you have two legit aces at Max Fried and Corbin Burns available, not get either one of them. Yet, and then you have your own guy in Pete Alonso, which would have fit perfectly in this lineup. You go switch left, right, if that's how they want to go. Or, I guess you could bet. Pete usually, I think Pete hit cleanup for most of the time for the Mets, but I guess they could have had him as protection there. That would have been and Vientos. That's a nice top four of a lineup. That's a great top four for any lineup, really. And it just doesn't. And you can't honestly, if we were Met fans, and this was the NYMST podcast, and we were sitting here after making that move and spending that money, and you were being sold on Jesse Winker as the first baseman, we'd be flipping out right now.
I'd be pissed. Pete's been the face of that organization for how long? Then you sign the new face, and then the old face goes bye bye. I mean, you got people for the Yankees that are crying that we're not re-signing Rizzo and Torres, who just had terrible years, and now they weren't the face of the organization, though. Now
I want to meet the person that was crying that the Yankees didn't re-sign
go
Anthony
listen. You
Rizzo.
go online and you just read. Go on Yankees Facebook and just go through the comment section, and you see how
No, I'm not
deranged
going
people
on
are.
Yankee Facebook because I rarely ever comment on any of those posts that I see. But this guy posted that David Cohn was going into the Yankees, quote, Hall of Fame, and had hundreds of comments of people ripping David Cohn of not being worthy. And I'm like, how dumb is everybody to know that the Yankees don't have a quote Hall of Fame? It's called Monument Park. And nowhere, anywhere did anybody even remotely intimate that David Cohn was getting inducted into the Monument Park. So no, I don't go on
I just
Yankee
read it because
Facebook.
it's fun. I read comments. I don't really social media too often. I just open it up and I read comments, and that's my entertainment for the day.
So Moises in the chat wants to know what happened to Chris and SGR. Well, I guess you missed the last 2 months of the show, and that's fine. Okay, but I got tired of dealing with Chris every week, so I don't know if I could say that word on YouTube. I did some. I locked him in my basement. Okay, and that's where he is now, and I feed him peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every night. And SGR is a free spirit, and we just let him roam the fields at night.
I'm, I'm thinking of Chris locked in the basement eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches now.
No, honestly, if you missed it, Chris said his goodbye right before Thanksgiving. That was his last episode, and then we took a break for Thanksgiving, and SGR came back to in Sem's first episode, and everybody is, it's just a part of life sometimes, and we will probably be seeing Chris and SGR again before this season starts. We have a special episode planned sometime in March, so we will probably be seeing everybody all together again at some point before the season starts. But we're not there yet. We are here. So obviously we have a whole bunch of Yankee fans in the chat, so we can stop talking about the friggin' Mets and talk about before we turn the show over to you guys and the comments we have on X and any voicemails that we do have is the Yankees have. I don't know if they have a checklist. I have a checklist for them. And are you okay?
I'm,
You're good. Okay.
I'm good.
That's great. I get a thumbs up here. Um, I have a checklist for the. Okay. Are you done now?
Maybe.
All right. I have a checklist for the Yankees, and I think that the Yankees in the next 28 days or however long it is until they report to spring training. Uh, hey, Moises, if you don't like the show, get the fuck out of here. How about that? Goodbye. This is bad. No one needs you. Okay. You weren't even here for 2 months, so no one gives a shit about your opinion anyway. All right. So the Yankees have a checklist, or I'm giving them a checklist, I should say, of what they need to accomplish for the remainder of this offseason. So, um, number one, I don't know if this is the order that I would put them in, but number one, the Yankees need to trade Marcus Stroman. That's the first thing the Yankees have to accomplish. Will they do it? The closer we get to spring training, the more worried that I get that they're not going to do it. All right, that he's here making $18 million a year with no role on this team. And as we discussed last week when Pete guested on the show, that you can't have two guys on this team making a combined, and that with the other guy being DJ LeMahieu, making a combined $34 million that have no role on this team. And now somebody brought this up. I forget where I saw it. It might have been Ken Rosenthal. I forget if that's who I was reading. That the Yankees' issue with trading Stroman right now is it's being complicated by the fact that it would be a trade, in that you have comparable or better pitchers still out there on the open market. I believe Jack Flaherty's still a free agent. Lance Lynn's still a free agent. There might be a couple other names that I'm missing um, that if teams want, they can probably go and get and not have to pay what the Yankees are probably asking in return for them to pick up Marcus Stroman. But the Yankees have to get rid of him. You can't this guy to be $18 million sixth starter, it doesn't work. It's not a good maneuver for roster construction here.
What do you do with him? You trade him, you eat some of the money, probably send him along with some money. What do you just dump him off?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously there's a number that the Yankees are looking to get back in return because they're not just going to hand them over to somebody because then they might as well just keep them themselves. So where Stroman goes, you know, that remains to be seen. Would I like to see Stroman go to, maybe a place like San Francisco or San Diego or even the Twins would be a good spot for him. That would be good, an AL Central team. That's where the Yankees have to look to get creative. Maybe, attach a prospect or attach a relief pitcher, something to maybe get somebody to eat a little bit more of this money. Because, like I said, man, you can't go into the season with this guy still here. It just doesn't make any sense. First of all, it would be weird. Like paying a guy $18 million a year just to sit around and do nothing. And I know the Yankees have wasted a lot of money and a lot of bad contracts in the past, but what are you going to get out of Marcus Stroman if you kept him around? Wait for the time that a guy might be injured or have him mop up games. And his stuff is terrible. So I don't see a use for him. But
He
does a
even he
team?
even make an appearance in the postseason, right? He
No,
didn't wasn't even on the roster.
no, he was on the roster, but he wasn't used at all. So that's tough. That's going to be tough for the Yankees to figure out what they're going to do with him. I would assume that they're definitely looking to trade him, but that might be something that does happen closer to spring training. Maybe some of these guys get picked off and teams that are left out there standing call the Yankees and the Yankees might have to eat. I would even if you ate $8 million at a deal. I think Marcus Stroman to a team for $10 million is worth it. But again, a thing uh I have worn a Yankee hat in church. Okay, Crackle Nuts. Thank you. I don't know how you know that. Spying on me is at church is not cool. All right. Uh, but the thing that complicates anything with Marcus Stroman is that vesting option. Is then you're going to trade him to a team that's probably going to want to use him, and then do they want him in 2026? Because if he hits 140 innings, the options automatically picked up. So that might end up. Actually, my parents didn't. My parents have never moved out of the house that I grew up in, and I stayed till I was 32. That's how much I liked it there. Okay, DJ Steels. I am a G though. Thank you. Um, that option might be the death of the Yankees in terms of trying to trade Marcus Stroman because it's going to be looked at by a team like, hey, listen, we need this guy, we want him, and but we don't want him for next year. So that could be a potential issue for the Yankees. Rocket Man said, I heard Stroman, Cabrera, and Warren for Ozzy Albies. Yeah. Where'd you hear that, pal? Because I I don't think the Atlanta Braves are doing that. You have anything you want to add to the conversation?
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
I'm just pondering in my brain,
What are you pondering?
just getting rid of Marcus Stroman and DJ LeMahieu. I'll keep Cabrera. He doesn't bother me on the team, but Marcus Stroman and DJ LeMahieu just need to. You're 100% right. Need to disappear. It is a lot of money. And then what do they what do they add in their place, or do they just You just want prospects. Like I'm just trying to like I'm thinking to myself like what would I really want? Because what do we have on the team? You're not going to get rid of the two of them and pick up a third baseman.
Well, the idea is to shed some of that money so you
Yeah.
can sign a third baseman.
Yeah, because this and then you pick up a third baseman as a signing opposed to a trade. Because right now, the way it looks like they're not going to sign a free agent or anybody. They're going to try to acquire a third baseman through trade. But if they could dump them off, it opens up the pocketbook a little bit.
Crackle nuts. I have never been tipped by a waiter, but when I go to Hibachi, I get the extra fried rice. Okay. I don't know why they're treating me like Chuck Norris in a chat tonight, but thank you. Uh, Rocket Man says Atlanta needs starting pitcher. They lost two stars. Well, why are they trading Ozzy Albies? I'd do it in a fucking heartbeat. If they want Stroman and Will Warren and Oswaldo Cabrera for Ozzy Albies, I'll drive all three of them in my car to Atlanta if I have to. I can hear sign language. I don't know about that, DJ Steels. That's a tough one for me. I am a tough guy, though. Okay, I'm tougher than I look.
Very tough. Quote Rocky. That's how tough
Yeah,
you are.
yeah. Oh, yeah. No. So the other, yeah, no. Listen, man. I wasn't trying to be scary or nothing, but you know what? Don't miss 2 months of the show and then complain about it. All right, that's just the way it is. Like you guys are in the chat every week. I see the same names pop. I know you guys are loyal, and I told you guys we were going to go through some growing pains as we worked through this. And Sem's still under the weather, so he's not 100%, but he's being a trooper by being here tonight, and I appreciate that, and I love him, man. So, you know, it is what it is, bro. You guys are here. We're still trying to entertain you the best that we can. If it's not up to NYYST standards, I do apologize for that. But, like I said, it's still us getting used to the flow of being here with each other. And this man he's still sick, man. He had a bad case of the flu and it's still kicking his ass. So, I mean, if you guys have a problem with that and you're going to talk shit about the show, you know what? Go fuck yourself. That's basically what it
Oh,
comes down to.
go fuck yourself. Yeah, I haven't picked up my phone in like a week and a half other than to like text my wife. I haven't looked on Twitter. I don't know what the hell's been going on in baseball. I know nothing. I know there's 70 days till baseball starts. I know that pitchers and catchers report in about 3 weeks around there. That's all I know. I don't know the date. So give me a break. I got health issues.
So A. Becker with the super chat says, how about Jorge Polanco for second base? I mean, he's a name that's been discussed. I know he had a down year last year coming off a knee surgery. I would like more of a sure thing if we're being honest. And I made a video about this earlier in the week that and this might be a hot take. You guys can tell me if I'm crazy or not. I don't think the Yankees need to acquire a quote big bat, an elite bat. I saw that on social media a lot the other day, and it prompted me to make the video that the Yankees need to go and acquire a big bat. And I don't look, would it be nice? Absolutely, dude. I would love to go out there and acquire and get somebody that, a 280, 290 hitter, hit 35 home runs, driving 100 runs. You know what? I would absolutely love for the Yankees to be able to do that. But is that a necessity, do I think? No, I don't think it's a necessity. The Yankees need, and this comes to back to part two on the checklist. They need another infielder. And do I think that it needs to? First of all, I don't know who's out there. Somebody brought up Jose Ramirez last week. Yeah, of course, bro. Who wouldn't love Jose Ramirez on this team, right? But you just need a solid, dependable, everyday major leaguer, a guy that, the OPS is in the 750s, not a guy that you're sitting there looking at like 600, 660, like Anthony Volpe's been the past couple of years. A guy that you can pencil in, hits 260, can pop you 20 home runs. Just be a dependable, everyday, serviceable major leaguer, a legitimate starter in this league. That's who the Yankees need at third base.
Yeah,
They
we
need
don't
to
need a whole team full of Aaron Judges.
Like I said,
It's
it would be nice, man. No one's if a trade for Jose Ramirez, God willing, for the Yankees became available. I'm not saying don't go and do that, but I'm not saying I don't think the Yankees need to go out there and acquire this super man uh, of a hitter. I don't think that's really what they need to do right now. They need to find somebody that can even be league average, OPS and OPS plus around 100 to 110. Give me somebody like that. Like I know when we get to the questions that I have posted on X, somebody asked about Key Brian Hayes, and I think Rocket Man with another super chat said Key Brian Hayes has requested a trade. Go look at his offensive numbers, bro. That's not. Honestly, you're gonna go and trade assets for that. Just play Oswaldo Cabrera if that's what you're thinking, because that's what you're getting. And FL Driver JC with the super chat again. Thank you. Chris, you never need to apologize. This is your show. And Sam, you're getting a lot of love from Uncle Dom, Macho King, among others, saying feel better. And Steve Saxton as well, if I missed anybody. That's wishing Sam better, to feel better. We appreciate it, man. And it's not that I feel the need, you know what? Because I have a high standard set for this show, right? And I don't appreciate it when people come on here, especially when they don't know where the previous co-host has been. That just shows how long you haven't been here, and then is going to talk shit about my fucking cousin and the quality of
it,
this show.
it's not even that. It's like, listen, I'm a completely different type of fan than Christian is. I actually had this conversation with him the other day. I don't go up in the morning. I don't read stats. I can't regurgitate the stuff that Christian does. I watch 162 games of Yankee baseball, though. When the season's going on, I could talk baseball left and right. Right now, I'm doing something that I typically don't do, and all the things baseball I've learned over the years are from Christian. I have pretty much the same exact talking points to him, which makes it really hard for me to begin with because what Christian says, I'm already thinking in my brain, and then when I have to support him, it's already been said, and I'm trying not to repeat and go over it all again. That's why a lot of times I'm like staring into the air. I'm like, ah, shit, that's what I was gonna say. So it's like a little bit tough. I'm trying for you guys. I'm really trying for Christian because he's the one that really matters to me. So like if there's an issue, he'll tell me. I'll do my best. Once the season starts, this will go a lot easier, like I said, because that's like I'm heavy into baseball. I don't do anything. I don't touch a video game. I don't watch anything else. My TV's on 24/7 to the yes station, and I watch all the West Coast games. I fall asleep someplace around the 7th, 8th inning. I watch baseball. That's my time to shine. Right now, I'm still trying to learn, and I won't even open up YouTube. I don't know what you guys are saying because I don't want to even like this is a whole nerve-wracking. You know, I don't
Trust
really do
trust me,
this
when
often.
when the games start, I'll get it out of him. Trust me when I tell you that. I will get it out of Sam.
Hey, I don't shut up once the games start.
When
He
when
turns
the
the phone on silent on me.
when we have to sit here and break down something that Aaron Boone did, trust me, you guys are going to see a completely different side of him. That's why I said, you know what, stick with us through these growing pains, stick with us through the off season here as we get the flow of the show down. It was going to take a minute. So that's everybody that's still here. We love you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And trust me, this show has been on the air since 2017. Okay. I would not, and I'm telling you this from the bottom of my heart. I have nothing to gain by putting out a bad show. I would not have kept the show going after Chris stepped down if I couldn't do it with Sim. That's how much I believe in him and I believe in the show going forward. So if you're here and you believe in us, thank you. We love you, and that's basically it, man. I'm gonna move off of it from now on. And Macho, you love us more than you love. I'm sorry, Crackle Nuts. You love us more than you love food. Thank you, bro. That's the highest compliment that we could be paid. Thank you, my friend.
I like food. That I could talk about nonstop.
So so yeah, the Yankees need to acquire an infielder. You cannot enter the season, okay, with DJ LeMahieu and Oswaldo Cabrera at the top of on the top of the depth chart. You just can't do it.
You need what we really need is just an infielder that's not going to lead the league in errors. That's a big part of it.
Yeah, that they don't need they need somebody that's reliable over there. And also you got to have a guy in there that's going to be able to contribute to this offense, man. I mean, Oswaldo Cabrera. had an OPS plus of 58 in 2023, and I think it was in the 80s last year with over 300 at bats in each season. It's not a guy that you want to play every day.
No, people get excited though because then he goes on a streak and he starts whacking the ball out of the place and and at clutch times. But then after that, he just falls off the face of the earth and he's nowhere to be found for a while.
So, Andrew's asking in the chat, is Peraza going to get his shot? I know one guy that would love to see Oswald
Yeah, I hope
Peraza.
so. He better. It's my guy. You know how much money I have invested in baseball cards for that freaking guy? And he's cool. I met him. Nice, solid guy. Awesome. Pisses me off.
And that's why you're hearing a lot of chatter that teams are calling up on Oswaldo Cabrera because the Yankees might be in a little bit of a number crunch with Peraza because if he
Had
doesn't make the
options.
team out of spring training, he is out of options and he'll be subject to waivers. So do the Yankees just send Oswaldo Cabrera off for a piece, a prospect, a bullpen arm? This way they give Cabrera's job to Peraza. It's possible. I'm not just saying this because he's your guy. I still believe in Oswald Peraza. I do.
I think he'd be a solid infielder. They put him at third. He could play second. You know that he's not going to put him at shortstop. They're not going to move Volpe. That's, it is what it is. That's his position. But, I like to see the kid play more than a few games. I mean, he got hurt the one season. That kind of blew it up. Last year, had he not gotten hurt, he would have been the starting third baseman over because DJ was hurt. So he's kind of made his own bet at this point. I was just watching his Facebook. He keeps posting stuff of himself in Yankee uniforms. So he's getting ready for the season to start. I don't know if there's some type of subliminal message behind that, but
Well, Rocket Man keeps paying for his trade proposals here. Stroman Cabrera for Brendan Donovan. Sure. I mean, if the Cardinals want to do it, why the hell not? Again, I've never been to St. Louis, but I will gladly drive Stroman and Cabrera there to make that happen.
they're the arches, right? That's the arches.
So yeah, and when you take a look at Oswald Peraza, you feel like that he had his chance in 2023 to be the shortstop. And, as much as the Yankees wanted Volpe to be the shortstop, he won the job in spring training. If it was an open competition, like we were led to believe, that in 2020, in the spring training of 2023, that Volpe beat Oswald Peraza. And I just don't know if he ever recovered from that, to be
I
honest
don't
with
know.
you.
Peraza Peraza played the whole beginning, and he played against the actual starters. When Volpe came in, one because that's when I had my neck surgery. I watched every single pre spring training game. Volpe came in towards the end when they were playing all the scrubs. They were playing all the AAA, Double
Well,
A.
it's also not a good look for you if you are facing the major league pitching and not hitting off of it. I mean, so again, did the Yankees finagle things to get Volpe to win the job? It's possible. Like I
They
said,
did. Like
you
I
know.
said, I'm all about the conspiracy theory behind that. He had the Fanatics deal, so there was money to be made there. It was always going to be Volpe.
Well,
So
we knew that. He's been the golden child for a long time. He's been, somebody we've heard about for a long time. And I posted something about Oswaldo Cabrera and DJ LeMahieu, and somebody brought up Anthony Volpe, and it's like, oh, he's had a 660 OPS the last 2 years. Yeah, I know that. And the conversation about Anthony Volpe would be a lot different, at least on my end, if he didn't have the postseason that he had. I am hopeful now that Anthony Volpe can be that guy. That not maybe not the superstar hitter that we've been sold on, but a guy that can be an everyday player based on the October that he had. You know,
yeah, he put it together. And he's another play. He's a key person in the entire lineup because he's another person that if he gets on base, he does have the speed where he could steal bases. It changes the dynamic of the lineup. It changes the entire game. If he doesn't get on base, it's really frustrating watching him play sometimes when he doesn't get, change his swing up. He was doing good, then he sucks, but he had a good postseason.
The problem with Volpe is that we've seen him have these 3, 4 week stretches where he looks like an all-star and then he fades into oblivion. And I want to believe that the postseason was not him having one of those hot stretches. And then if they had played another month, he would have faded back into oblivion. I want to believe, and I need to believe, we need to believe that Anthony Volpe is the guy we saw in October because he is one of the key pieces to this team to help make up the offense that we lost in free agency this year. Okay. It's plain as day that Anthony Volpe can't be a light hitting 240 shortstop. He needs to be a guy that can hit 270, hit 20 home runs, get on base at a 33, 35% clip, and get on base and steal bases. What I don't like about Anthony Volpe is that I feel like he's very timid out there at times. Here's the there are good base runners and then there are base stealers. I need him to be a base stealer. And that was one of the biggest things that always pissed me off about Brett Gardner. Great base runner, fast as hell, couldn't steal bases to save his fucking life. He was not a guy that ever got good reads off of pitchers, never a guy that stole a ton of bases with his ability. And I need Volpe to be a base stealer because if you look at Volpe, Jazz, and Dominguez, and these guys get on at a 33, even at a 33% clip, let's just start the line right there. They build themselves to be guys that get on at a 33 to 34% clip. You got three guys that combined can steal 100 bags without even trying. And the Yankees need that. And that's why, everybody says to themselves, oh, this offense is going to be boring. This offense is going to suck. No, no. The potential is there for it to be a very exciting and good offense, but you need those three guys to be able to get on base and wreak havoc on the bases.
Yeah,
That
because like
is,
we didn't see it all season. Then they signed Jazz, and then all of a sudden he starts manufacturing runs by himself. He gets walked, and then next thing you know, he's on third base. We don't watch that all season. You wait for everybody just to mash the ball. You're waiting for a home run, home run, home run. But that's not how we're going to win games. It's not how we're going to win the World Series.
you have Aaron Judge in there to drive in runs, but
Yep.
people have to be on base to drive in runs for Aaron Judge. And probably, I would probably keep him third this year. I think he liked it there. So let's see how that works, even without an all-star in front of him. Let's see how that works. If you want to go Dom, Cody, Judge, let's see how that works to start the season. And then I would bat Volpe nine. You have those three guys that have a bit of a speed factor too in front of him. And that's why I understand I understand how the fan base feels because you have not replaced to the level of what you lost in that player, right? I get it. But if you really look at this lineup and you want to be optimistic about this team, you can be. There are reasons to be. But if Volpe goes out there and he hits 240 with 10 home runs and his OPS is in the 600s again, guess what? That's who he is after year three. And then there's no hope for him. And that sucks because then we were sold a bill of goods on somebody that was supposed to be a franchise cornerstone. And I really
Listen,
hope.
listen. I was there for his first game. I was there when he came out. You would think that that stadium would have been because Aaron Judge was introduced as the captain for the first time. Walked on that field. It was loud when Volpe came out. That place erupted. It was never so loud. Everybody was so high on Volpe, and he's just not panning out. That's the frustrating part about it. He's just not what we were promised. I, it's there's just so much potential when you look at it, and you need now. If that happens again with if he sucks, and then it happens again with Dominguez, then what do you do?
I mean, you're beat is basically what it comes down to. That's why I keep bringing up those two guys because if they're not playing to who we were told that they were going to play to be or even come close to that, none of this is even really worth talking about.
No, and then we get nothing for them. That's what sucks. Because then you watch that happen with Florial. You watch that happen with what's his name? He went to Oakland.
Andujar.
Andujar. You're tired of getting these big prospects. You talk them up, and then we get nothing for them. I don't want to see that happen again. You're not going to get anything for Volpe now. You know what I'm saying? So now you still have the chance with Dominguez, and then you got Spencer. Spencer,
Spencer Jones has got to cut that K rate this year.
yeah,
That's what we need to see out of him in the minor leagues this season. Well, we got a super. Let me get to David Douglas's super chat here. He goes, I just want to say, as a fan who's been here for a while, Sembro, you are doing great.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll try.
Yeah, and like as Crackle Nuts mentioned, Dominguez and Volpe are cheap players. You need those types of guys when you have the contracts of Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole and Max Fried, and you want to try to stay under that 301.
Yeah,
So,
that's how we afford the luxury of having the big players.
and you need them to produce, man. They just can't be cheap for the sake of being cheap. You need to get some return on that there. And Steven, I'm going to butcher your last name, so I'm not going to say it. It said in the chat, Spencer's been working on his swing. His load looks exactly like Aaron Judge from the left side. It's ridiculous. It's crazy how similar he looks to Aaron Judge now. Hopefully, then that turns him around, man, because that's another big time prospect there. And it would, if you look at the outfield, maybe, and it depends on what happened. Maybe if Cody picks up that option, then in 26 you slide him to first base, and then Spencer's up there, and your outfield is Judge, Jones, and Dominguez in 2026. Could be worse. Could be better.
I mean, listen, we watched Spencer Jones play his first AA game. The kid freaking whacked the fucking ball. It was cool to watch. I like
So,
going to Somerset.
the third thing on this checklist before we turn the show over to you guys here is they need to sign a left-handed reliever, like now, today, please. Can we do that? I'm sure it'll happen in the next 4 weeks, but again, I keep going back to this. Why is Tim Hill not a Yankee right now?
Yeah, I was expecting to come out of my hole that I was in for the past week and a half and see that Tim Hill had been signed. And I was looking today. I was like, no way. They got
And
to be in talks. Is it just that he wants a lot of money?
they
Like,
have had discussions. Apparently, it's like I like you, you like me. We know that. Like, well, how come they haven't gone out yet?
he was filthy. You think that someone else would have picked him up by now? What's going on?
The reliever market is really slow. We've seen that. Uh, that Jeff Hoffman just signed over the weekend here, and what a crazy story that was, is that he ended up in Toronto after not Oakland, Atlanta and Baltimore essentially agreed to deals with him, and then uh, the deals were nixed due to his medicals. He's like the next Carlos Correa here, who went to the Mets and then he went to the Giants, or vice versa, and then those deals got nixed because of medicals, and then he wound up in Minnesota. So we'll. But Tanner Scott's still out there. Estevez is still out there. You still got other really good relief pitchers. That's been a really slow market. So is it because of the prices? I don't know. It remains to be seen. But the Yankees need a left-handed reliever. So these are the things that they have to accomplish before they hit spring training. Get rid of Marcus Stroman. Get an infielder in here, preferably to play third base, and get yourself a lefty reliever. That's it. That's the off season. That's what's left for the Yankees.
Yeah.
So
Last year, what happened it was Blake Snell and JMO didn't get deals till spring break till spring training
uh
started.
I don't remember, were the teams in spring training, or I think they were. Snell, I think, definitely was it.
But it was late in the it was right there at the cusp of the
Right.
start.
No, because I think that's what part of Montgomery blamed his season on, is
He
that
did.
he didn't have a full spring training.
Yeah, I think he blamed Scott Boras for that, which is Pete Alonso's go back to.
Uncle Dom said the Mets are going to swoop in and get Tim Hill. I did hear that they're connected. They might have had conversations or something. So, I also heard the Mets were in on Alex Verdugo. The Mets, you want to beat the allegations that you're the little brother, but you're taking all the Yankee sloppy seconds here. You seem to be connected to everything that the Yankees have done. Your manager is a fucking Yankee, for Christ's sake, right?
They're the diet Yankees, the Yankees light.
I don't know. Would you have gone to the lengths that you gone to make your big splash if he had not been traded to the Yankees last year? I don't know. Is that
Uh,
part of it? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Tim Hill had a fluke season because then why aren't you in there saying that that Luke Weaver had a fluke season then?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Guys come here, they find something. Matt Blake has worked with him, and who else is really out there? I mean, if he's pricing himself out of the market, I wouldn't pay more than 2 or 3 million bucks for Tim Hill. But I mean, come on now. You saw it work here. You can't, and again, you can't go into the season without a left-handed reliever. It would make zero sense for the Yankees to do that.
Yeah, I understand like why they signed Loizaga back so quick and then Tim Hill's still sitting there.
Yeah, that's another thing is that it would seem like the Yankees were very quick to bring Loizaga back.
Like the guy gets hurt every friggin' season. Enough. Like, like that would have been like cut the umbilical cord there already. Like that needs to stop.
And he's not even going to be ready at the start of the season. They're hopeful that he'll be ready to go by the end of April, which is
I
really
don't even
May.
know that. That makes it even that much more. That's I like Loizaga. I just but when they did that, it just like it gave me the ick, and I was like, it just doesn't make sense to me that Tim Hill isn't signed. Give the guy his money. Get it done. I don't know. But then we're out there trying to sign Roki Sasaki, whatever the frick the guy's name is. I I'll end up calling him a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle character name on accident. I get confused with the guy's name. But you're out there trying to get him when you already have Stroman there. You're just going to end up with this plethora of starting pitchers, and yet we're not signing the one reliever that we should.
Yeah, so anybody that missed it, I don't know. That Roki said no to the Yankees and Mets, and it's down to the Blue Jays, Dodgers, and Padres. I don't I might actually come on here and eat this Chewy birthday card for my dog if Roki Sasaki signs with the Blue Jays. That's how stunned I would be
Yeah,
if
he's
he
not
signed
going there.
if he signed with the Blue Jays.
No way.
So let's turn the show over now to the fans. We are going to get some questions off of X first. And so if you have not left a voicemail and you want to do so, the number is pinned to the top of the chat here. So drop us a voicemail. We were going to, we'll get to them in a couple minutes here. Uh, so Yankee Country on X says, do you guys see the Yankees winning over or under 90 games this year? When we get to Fred's projections, we will make our official over/under pick on the amount of wins for the Yankees this season. And I'm going to tell you right now, without even putting any thought into it, I have the Yankees over 90 wins and by at least 4 games because I don't know how anybody is looking at this team thinking that they are going to be an 80 or worse win team this year, especially in the American League.
No, someone would have to majorly shit the bed. Or Aaron
As
Boone would have to do stupid shit.
honestly, if Judge stays healthy, again, I'm saying big if because they're going to LA this year. They're playing in Dodger Stadium.
Oh, they could. I was saying that to my coworker the other day. They could sign all these players, all this money, but they can't fix the friggin' fence and out in the outfield.
If
Unreal.
there's
If
no reason to think that the Yankees can't finish with more than 90 wins this year. By thinking that they're going to finish under, you're not giving enough credit to the guys that are here. And maybe you need to see it happen. And again, a lot of my optimism is based on things that I haven't seen, right? I haven't seen Anthony Volpe be a 750 OPS guy. I haven't seen Jason Dominguez play a full year in Major League Baseball. I haven't seen uh, Paul Goldschmidt bounce back and Cody Bellinger bounce back. I haven't seen them do that yet. So I get it, right? I haven't seen Austin Wells get a full season behind the plate. But I think it's there. I think definitely the potential is there for them to be a very good team this year. And again, tell me who in the American League is going to keep the Yankees from, that these juggernauts in the American League that are going to keep the Yankees from being the divisional champs at the very least this season.
nobody. They all suck.
So David David Douglas again with the super chat said he who we don't say his name on the show anymore went to having Judge hitting behind him to Vientos. And you know what? You know, Mark Vientos had a breakout season last year, had 27 home runs, I think it was, and he didn't come up till, later in the season. I think he can be a really good hitter. So, yeah, it's not Aaron Judge, but I wouldn't say Mark Vientos is some slouch.
How many home runs did he hit last season?
Oh,
The guy we don't say his
I
name.
believe it was 41.
41. And I think when I was looking at the spray chart, I think it was like 3 or 4 pitches. Home runs wouldn't have been home runs if they weren't in Yankee Stadium, if he was playing at Citi Field. That's 10% of his home runs. It's not like he's hitting 60 something home runs. You get what I'm saying? Where four is not, now you're at 8%. He's gonna have a different type of season. I'm interested to see it.
Yeah, he's never had that home run output in his career. So obviously he was aided by playing in Yankee Stadium. So again, I'm not shitting on the guy. I wanted him back here. I think he's going to have a tremendous season. I'm not going to say that he's not, but it'd be interesting to see what the numbers do look like playing in Citi Field versus playing at Yankee Stadium and not having the protection of the best hitter in baseball behind him.
Yeah, also defensively, he's not gonna be playing in
And
a
it's not good. Yeah, the Yankees
a
hit
big
him. The
outfield.
Yankees hit him in right field. So let's be honest about that.
So they're gonna be able to exploit his defense a lot more. It's that really is gonna be interesting. I'm not wishing the guy bad. I really don't give a shit. I really just want to see how it pans out. It's something that I'm very interested in.
So Yankee country with another question goes, do you think the Yankees trade for Key Brian Hayes to play third base? And I think somebody brought him up in a super chat, and I saw his name pop up in discussion in the chat. I would sure as hell hope not that the Yankees are going to acquire Key Brian Hayes. Aside from being part of my daddy played for a championship Yankee team club that he would have in common with Cody Bellinger. There's no reason to acquire Key Brian Hayes because Key Brian Hayes, again, last year, OPS plus is 61. Does that sound appealing to anybody? If you take out the COVID season, which you can't count, his OPS pluses in his career 86, 88, 103, and 61. Again, as I said, if that's what you're going to do, just give the job to Oswaldo Cabrera. The guy doesn't hit it. I said I need a guy to hit it at least the league average. He doesn't do that. Just because you
Always,
know the name doesn't make it a better option.
they're cheapskates too. They always want a lot for their trades. So what you're gonna have to trade for him, they're gonna want the moon and the stars.
So no, I'm not. I would not be happy if the Yankees traded for Key Brian Hayes. I can't. It's not the answer over there. I'm sorry. It just. I joked on X the other day that it would be a. I would love to see Susan crying in the booth in Game 6 of the World Series as he catches the final out 29 years after his father did to end another Yankee championship drought. But he's not the answer offensively, man. Yeah, he can probably play the position, but you have guys that can play the position that aren't going to hit already on the team. So what are you going to trade assets for to to get him? I don't see it. Sam, is it true you can change the channel just by sneezing?
Why? Because my nose is so big?
No, that's what they said, bro. They said in the chat you can do that. You can change the channel just by sneezing, and you get KFC delivered just by blinking.
What the hell does that mean? What does that mean?
Oh, they're on a roll tonight, man.
It's
Macho King said you built the brick wall behind you with your bare hands.
No, that's my wife. I was gonna use an Italian slur there. She's the real. She could masonry.
Uncle Dom says that you look like a guy that you want in a foxhole with you, and I dig the holes with my bare hands.
That yeah, that I yeah. I don't. I got sensory issues. I'll if I not bare hands, gloves, but I'll dig the holes.
So just Anthony C on X says, "Do you think the Yankees can actually find someone to take Stroman?" While there was many who thought the Yankees contract was Hicks contract was easy to rid, I didn't. I feel the same way with Stroman. Here's the difference with Aaron Hicks. Everybody knew that he was garbage. Everybody knew what a waste Aaron Hicks was, and the years that were left on that deal were cumbersome to trade. I think, what was it, 3 years, 4 years when the Yankees finally got fed up with Aaron Hicks that were left on that deal.
Yeah, and he was terrible. I mean, he was just making shit plays in the outfield too, and just not even. Remember when he hit that one ball and he didn't even like run after it? That
When he
was
was sitting there staring at the wall like Charlie Brown on
yeah,
Derek Jeter night, I mean, everybody knew at that point.
like Stroman at least wants to go out and pitch. Aaron Hicks didn't want to play baseball. He wanted to go golf.
There's a thing with with Marcus Stroman, even based on what he did last year, an ERA in the mid fours, low to what was it, like 4.3 around there somewhere. He can still be serviceable for a team. He's gonna, he stays healthy. He can give you 135 plus innings. He can still be very serviceable. The $18 million is not as much of a hindrance to me, in my opinion, as that option is. Because why are you going to trade for a guy and then be like, I don't want you next year, so here, go sit down. That's going to be the problem.
Yeah.
So, and then do the Yankees just say fuck it and just cut him?
What's league minimum?
What is it? It's like 600, I think.
And that's what
That
the yeah, they need, I don't know. They're not just gonna cut him.
because then the Yankees would be on the hook for the whatever minus the
Yeah, so you might
minimum
as well
is.
just keep him and then just use him for such as a situational pitcher. You could put him in there to get 3 outs or to end an inning.
I mean, instead of if you're up 10-1 in the ninth, instead of putting in a position player, you just throw Marcus.
No, but he could blow 10. He could still blow that. He was tough to watch at some points last year because when he gave it up, he gave it up.
Yeah, I know. I was there when the Yankees were trying to clinch the division against Baltimore, and it was the 10-year anniversary of Derek Jeter's final game. I was there watching him. And yeah, I know defense not so great, but also him not so great either.
I almost every game I went to last year, he was the friggin' pitcher. I don't know how it worked out, and I got disgusted towards the end of the season. I didn't want to watch, and then I ended up getting stuck with Rodon. I don't think I saw anybody else pitch. It just
And,
worked out
and
that
that's
way.
another thing. I don't want to spend all the money it's going to take to get from New Jersey to the Bronx. I don't want to do that and then have to sit down and watch him pitch.
They suspended my Easy Pass.
For what?
I don't know. I went over the bridge and it said call Easy Pass. We call, and next thing you know, I got like $1,000 in tickets or something like that. It's outlandish, and now they suspended my Easy Pass. I have Easy Pass. What's the problem? But I had New Jersey Easy Pass. Now I could go buy New York Easy Pass. I could get that. It's so strange.
Here, because I know then this will get you excited. I'm going to read this one here of these Chuck Norris quotes that the chat has given us tonight. That Crackle Nut says that you hunt elephants when you're bored.
Me?
Yeah.
Not elephants, giraffes.
You're a big hunter.
I'm a big hunter. I hunt anything when I'm bored.
And Macho King says it's because Easy Pass can't handle you.
They can't. They can't handle this voluptuous beard that's on my chin.
They probably can't see your face.
They
So,
can't. I just cover it and I disappear. This isn't even nothing. This is half the length it used to be. I kept getting on the big screen at Yankee Stadium. I don't know how many times I got on it, and I always would cover my face. They would always zoom in on me because of it.
all right, we got one more here on X here. It's from Jason Rivers. Who do you think the Yankees will sign or trade for a lefty bullpen arm? I mean, I don't know if I'm sure Cashman left to his own devices and we wound up with Victor Gonzalez and Caleb Ferguson last year. But this year, obviously, you hear names like AJ Minter's a guy, Andrew Chafin. Obviously, I would love to see Tim Hill come back. So I'm sure that out of the three things that I listed that they have to do, the thing that I'm most confident in them doing is finding a lefty reliever because there has to be somebody out there that they'll bring in and just make the team by default. But I would like somebody of some substance and preferably at this point just, reunite with Tim Hill.
I think they're going to bring back Tim Hill. If they don't bring back him, there's some underlying issue. He's a drunk. He's just mean. He's flipping couches in the and trying to fight Aaron Boone. I don't know.
So Cracklenut said they suspended you because you're too sexy for your cat.
I'd shake my tush on the catwalk. I hate cats.
Not a cat guy.
I'm not a cat guy. I'm allergic to them, and I just don't like them. My dad's friend had a cougar in Palisades, what Prospect Park in New Jersey. That was the only cat I liked, Corky the cougar. He lived in the basement of basically Hawthorne, and it was all over the news. And that's the only cat I ever liked. That thing was huge.
Are you getting somebody in trouble?
No, that was how long
I
ago?
mean,
That was 20 years
tens
ago.
of thousands of people taking this podcast.
Corky the cougar is dead. He got sued. That was all over the news. That was big talk for our area. My dad would go down to the basement. The cougar we'd be playing with a cougar. Then my mom went into the basement and opened the freezer, and you hear her screaming because a deer leg fell out because they used to have to buy the deer legs from Space Farms. And he had an African lion. My dad's best. The guy's weird. I love the guy. I've known him my whole life, but he's weird. He had an African lion that he gets sold. He had a cougar. He had some other. I mean, it's insane. He had like
No, you guys,
$100,000 in animals.
listen to this. If that idiot from earlier would have just stuck around, we could have learned about the black market animal trading in her family.
Yeah, I could teach you everything about that. These are things that like I'm up on. I learned about that when I was like 5. I know exactly. Go to Colorado, buy anything you want.
So Cracklenut says that I can understand dog barks, and I can. Creed and I have conversations daily. I talk to my dog. He understands me, and I understand him. Any dog owner should really be able to understand their dog barks, what they mean, and if they're saying something specific to you or not.
My dog just points at things. He lets me know. He points.
So Cracklenuts wants to know if you drink gasoline to get yourself going in the morning.
Diesel.
Diesel, there you go.
Diesel. I'm a diesel truck driver. I drive a Western Star with a Detroit Diesel D16.
And just
Diesel.
for
Off-road red.
there you go. For a side note there, that fans that wanted Hassan Kim from the Padres, he is also injured and will not be ready for the start of the season. So I would take that off the board for the Yankees because I don't want them to be like, oh, we'll sign Kim and then we'll play him in April, but we'll give DJ 3 weeks. No. No. If when you are being said, when you're talking here, let me stop stuttering for a second here. When you are discussing what the Yankees should do at third base and "d" is the first syllable out of your mouth, no. No. All right, so I think we have a couple voicemails. Pete, if you don't mind, let's get to the first one, please.
Hey, Christian, Kyle Malay here. Hope you're having a good day. And I had to redo my voicemail because I thought Pete was going to be on tonight, but he's not. But hopefully we get our second or third baseman soon. And I hope everyone's having a good day because I had an okay day, except for the $200 part I'm going to have to get for my car. But that's going to be fixed within a week or two. But they said it's okay for me to drive it until we can get it fixed. But yeah, let's all have a good night and let's go Yankees. Let's get some moves made, man. We got a couple more weeks till spring training and we got to get this done. Come on, Yankees. Let's go. Go Yankees.
All right, thank you, Kyle. Okay, Kyle's having an okay day because he's got to put out $200 for his car.
Moves made.
Yeah, we've been discussing it all night, and I appreciate when people come on here and ask us how we're doing. Nobody ever asks us how we're doing. It's always
How you
like,
doing?
it's always dance for me, monkey. Entertain me. No, maybe ask us how we're doing from now on. David Douglas wants to
Shitty.
know what I think about Hulk Hogan getting booed last week. I'm not going to discuss that on here.
That probably crushed him.
It was not surprising, given where they were, to be honest with you. And that's basically where I'll leave it. Uh, Uncle Dom says, great show. He hasn't laughed this hard in days. Honestly, you guys, you Crackle Nuts, Uncle Dom, everybody in the chat, you guys made this show tonight with your comments in the chat and us feeding off that energy. You guys made it. That's why we have the best fans in the world. That's why we have the best community of anybody in the Yankee sphere here. You know, any other content creators, any other channel, whatever word you want to use, their fans suck, their community sucks. We have the best one, hands down. You guys are the best. You guys, you know, I acknowledge my tribal chief Roman Reigns. I acknowledge you guys. One's up to the sky for the NYYU fans, the guys in the chat every week. You guys are the best. So, do we have more? I think we have at least one more, right, Pete?
They've been Christian Macho King in the house. How you doing? On the ground, yeah. Well, I'm gonna get right to the point in time. It's of the essence, and the Yankees gotta make these rules and complete the bullpen and infield. And there's your abuse. There is no option. Just like the honky tonk man. Once I get a hold of you in the garden, your history. Dang it. There ain't those Japanese players that don't want to play in New York. Take a hike! Because I'm pulling it into Tokyo and the Macho King's gonna be like Godzilla, dropping elbows on you like a wasabi roll, yeah. And we don't need you because the Yankees got a new pipeline to the Dominican Republic. And once you see the kids that they're gonna draft, well, forget that bum and Queens ever existed, yeah. And Rocky IV is one of the greatest films of all time ever made. And I'm not just saying that because I'm Italian, yeah. And Rocky V is underrated because it sets up Rocky Balboa. And the film's greedy too. Yeah. And they'll never know the power of the Macho Man or the UWO. Yeah. Bang bang! Ooh yeah! Still number championship 20 in the Canyon of Heroes. Destiny on the horizon. Oh yeah! NYYU, UWO for life, MVP. Dig it. March out.
That was awesome. Was that supposed to be like the Ultimate Warrior or something?
The Macho King, bro.
I clearly know that. I was being a wise ass. That was awesome.
Oh my God.
That's-
Oh yeah, bro.
that was awesome. That like reminds me of my childhood. I stopped watching wrestling after my brother tried to Hurricane Rana a Bret Hart doll off the top couch and split his head open. And my mom just found out like this summer after 30 years that it wasn't me that did it to my brother.
So the most important thing that he said there is that Rocky V is underrated. It is a giant piece of shit movie, okay? That even I felt like Stallone was giving an impersonation of Rocky Balboa in that movie. But what he said was, we don't get Rocky Balboa without Rocky V.
Touch
So
me and I'll sue.
Rocky Balboa, for anybody who doesn't know this, is my all-time favorite movie. Not one, not four. Rocky Balboa is my all-time favorite movie. Have you seen the director's cut?
I've seen them all.
Have you seen the
If he
director's
dies,
cut?
he dies.
You didn't answer my question. Did you see the director's cut?
I believe I did. I think I actually own it.
He recut the movie during COVID, and it's a
Oh
completely
no, then I
different.
didn't see that.
It's
Okay,
a completely different movie.
you couldn't tell me that while I had COVID last week because I didn't have the flu. I had the COVIDs. and
Well,
I was.
we can't say that word on here,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
but I
I
did
had the
anyway.
flu.
Rocky Balboa is my all-time favorite movie. Yes, it's and that was the only Rocky movie I got to go to the theaters to see because I was
That's where he
seven.
fights. Yeah, we were young. You were. Yeah,
I was
oh,
7 when when Rocky 5 came out. I was 7 when that movie came out.
yeah. So I was 3.
So
What's Rocky Balboa? Rocky Balboa is where he fights the Floyd Mayweather wannabe guy, right?
Antonio Tarver.
Yeah, it's supposed to. But it's like,
It's not really about him. It's about what he's going through in his life at that time.
yeah, and then after that's Creed,
But
which which
that
I
was
didn't like those movies in the beginning, but they've grown on me.
that was wild because I went to go see an advanced screening. Yeah, of course I did. Of Rocky Balboa, and it was like being at a real sporting event when the fight started. People were fucking going bananas. I'll never forget that. I honestly, I thank my wife for hooking that up. She wasn't my wife at the time. We had only started just dating. That movie came out in 2006. December of 2006. We started dating in April
Really?
of 2006. Yeah.
Really?
Really what?
That movie's that old already? That's 19 years ago.
Yeah, that's how long I've been with my wife. We'll be together 19 years this April.
When I was graduating high school.
19 years. Holy shit. What 19 years, bro? What the fuck am I where did the time go?
I don't know. My
See,
daughter's turning 17 next month, though this month. Where did time go?
Pete, is that it? Are we done or do we have another one? You can just let me know in the chat. Uh, yeah, that there were fights in the theaters. All right, cool. So we want to thank Macho King. Thank you, bro. Kyle, thank you. Macho, I hopefully you're gonna be out in the Audi Club on the 29th. I can't wait to hang out with you. Dude, you fucking wild, bro.
Yeah,
Wild.
that that was
I don't know how you keep I can't even do the oh yeah anymore without ruining my throat. But you guys are, and I think it was else. Sorry, man, if you dropped this a super field FL driver. You were right, bro. This is not a community. This is not a group of. This is a family here. The NYYU family. You guys are hands down the best. Okay, I don't know what else to say, dude. You guys. This I said I was turning the show over to you guys, and if it wasn't for you guys in the chat, who knows if you would have brought it out of us tonight. Thank you so much, man. You guys are the best. That's why these live shows I enjoy doing them so much because even if we don't have it on a given night, you guys always have it. You guys always bring it out. You guys are hands down the best. Nobody else is getting this kind of love and this kind of interaction from their family because they ain't got a family. They got
I still just want to know what the hell it means when I sneeze, I change the channel and then
I
I
don't know. We're about to wrap it up here. Whoever said that, you want?
yeah, you guys had to explain then the KFC thing. Like I'm down, like whatever. I haven't had KFC in quite some time, but now I want it.
You're gonna get a famous bowl?
I don't know what the hell the famous bowl is.
Oh, it's mashed
Okay.
potato base with chicken chunks with the original recipe as the coating, right? Chicken chunks, gravy, melted cheese,
No,
and
I'm not
corn.
doing any of that shit. I just give me the chicken.
Oh, come on, bro.
Nah, I'm going back on a diet again, and
So
I'm not
go.
breaking it till opening day. That's how I've
Okay.
been breaking my diets every year.
Yeah, Jose's right. It's fire sometimes though. You got to catch it at the right moment.
KFC.
Yeah.
Oh, I tried Popeyes for the first time too. That was like, I mean, I was keto for like a year and a half. Like I had missed all this stuff. So when I eat it now, it's all really good. So now I want some KFC. My wife's watching. Can we have KFC for dinner tomorrow? And keep the remote away from my nose because I might sneeze and change the channel.
Crackle Nut says you eat the bones when you're done.
I ate the bones.
All right, Pete, if DJ Stelio did leave one, you could if you want to play it before we sign off, we'll take a listen to it.
Yeah, what up, Sim? Nah, let me stop. What's up, Christian? What's up, Simon? It's the one and only friendly neighborhood DJ Philly with the book calling in again. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Hey, man. Quick word. Hey, man, we're gonna support NYST no matter what, obstacle you're going through, personal life, I guess. We're always gonna support you. We're gonna support the channel. We're gonna support you guys to death, man, because you guys are our family. All right, so yeah. Also, I just wanted to call in because I have a question. This was kind of bothering me. I don't know what's like. I need you guys to answer this for me. So, do you think the Yankees made it to the World Series because of Juan Soto? Or do you think the Yankees made it to the World Series because the American League sucked? I want to hear you guys' thoughts. Gotta go. Peace.
Thank you for the voicemail, DJ Steels. You're the man, bro. To answer your question, do I think
Well,
they made it because they had a different right fielder last year, or because the American League wasn't as good as it's been in years past? I think it's a combination. It's definitely a combination of things. I mean, obviously, he played a huge role in helping the Yankees get to the World Series. He hit the fucking home run in the clinching game in the 10th inning. So, yeah, and he had a great regular season. He had a great postseason. So, and the American, again, I hate the term easy path, but you know, it wasn't a banner year for great teams in the American League. And also, Aaron Judge, even though he didn't have a great postseason by any stretch of the imagination, I mean, you don't get to be the number one seed in the American League without having that type of season out of him. So yeah, it's a lot of things.
yeah, Judge had an amazing season, an exciting season, because it's exciting baseball to watch. And I mean, it was nice to not have to play the Astros in the postseason.
And lastly, here before we close out the show here, Ra, my boy Ra here with the super chat. Christian, my man, no one is allowed to talk shit on Cole except us. With all the crap the Yankees have taken this winter, I fully expect for the Yankees to shove this year. I'm telling you, man, I'd be disappointed, and that's an understatement, if the Yankees aren't back in the World Series. I don't see, and again, things can always change. Injuries, acquisitions, things can always change. I don't see anybody that's going to stop the Yankees from getting back to the World Series this year. A lot of major talent has left the American League, and the Yankees are the only ones that have tried to replace that talent. Houston's taking a step back. Baltimore's taking a step back. We'll see what Texas rebounds now after they won the World Series and then didn't make the postseason last year. The Guardians are going to be the Guardians, a pain in the ass, but are they a real threat? The Royals, I like the Royals. Do they take the next step to be a better team than they were last year, to be somebody that can really challenge the Yankees in October? Well, we'll see, man. I right now on paper, as we sit here on January 16th, who's the biggest threat to the Yankees in the American League? I'm going to probably tell you it's the Boston Red Sox. And I still don't even think that they're going to be good enough, should they play the Yankees in a 7-game series, to beat the Yankees 4 times in 7 games.
Yeah, there's
So,
there's no Jose Trevino to steal 97,000 bases in one game on.
their bullpen's not great. Their rotation should be sneaky good. I love the Walker Bueller signing for them. And offensively, Devers, there's somebody else, and what you get out of Jarrett Duran. They got some guys over there. We'll see, man. But this is the Yankees league to win. As of right now, as of today, this is the Yankees league to win. What happens in October will be remain to be seen. But
You're gonna have a lot of play. You gotta have all those players on that team. Almost every single one of them has a point to prove. You got all the guys that were on the team in the World Series. They got to prove that they could get back there. You got guys like Dominguez coming up that need to prove that he could play in the show. You got Cody Bellinger coming over, got to prove that he could still play baseball really well. You got Paul Goldschmidt, who wants the guys to prove that he's not an over the hill shit player. There's a lot of players that are going to have a chip on their shoulder and something to prove. So you hope that they put together and they just. It's going to be exciting baseball.
Yeah. So DJ Steele's reminded us that Aaron Boone is the manager for the American League All-Star team this year. That'll get you to tune into the All-Star game, right? To see how Aaron Boone handles that.
Fuck Aaron Boone.
There you go. We'll round out on
Fuck
that.
Aaron Boone and his bullshit call. Fucking Nestor Cortez. That's something that we're going to talk about for the rest of our lives. You know that, right?
Forever.
Ever. I no joke, will get fuck Aaron Boone tattooed on my ass for everybody to see if he does stupid shit like that again this year. I will enshrine his name forever.
Forever.
I'll put it on my arm, not even my ass.
There you go. You can do it right on your forehead.
Not the forehead. I'm not into face tattoos.
All right. He's not into face tattoos, but
Not into face tattoos.
Okay, he's not into face tattoos, but we are into you liking and subscribing, liking this video and subscribing to NYY Underground. And we'd be really into seeing you out at the Audi Club on March 29th for NYYU Day. That will be the second game of the season here, which should be Max Fried's Yankee debut. Be excited to meet everybody and see the Yankees' newest weapon out in the Bronx there. So get your tickets. Jira just posted the link in the chat. And also, if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, tell everybody that NYYST is the official Yankee podcast of Odyssey, and leave us a 5-star rating and review. And again, tonight, this was the fan show. This was your show. You guys brought it out of us tonight. We thank the chat so much. I thank you guys every night we're live, and this was your World Series. This was your Super Bowl, your WrestleMania. You guys got it out of us tonight. You guys were awesome. We love you. We thank you. Thank you very much for your continued support of NYYU and NYYST. Thank you very much for listening and watching episode 444. Sam, say goodbye.
Bye.
Can't make a promise, but I do my best. 25 sitting on 25 racks. Just got started, no, we ain't done yet. Bought a new crib, that's a goddamn flex. Sign that check. Told them last year that I been up next. Can't take calls, but I send that text. From